Good morning to all of you. Start with a new topic for today. I'll be teaching about another malignant tumor that arises from the skin. It's really painful, for me whenever I talk about this tumor. And several times I've told you in the class that the general dictum is carcinomas metastatize through lymphatics, but there are exceptions. So melanoma is one which not only metastatizes by lymphatics, but it metastatizes through hematogenous route. So when it metastatizes through hematogenous route, where do we expect the metastasis? In visceral organs. No organ is spared, I tell you. You can see metastasis even on the heart, or you can say in the heart, spleen and all other visceral organs. I just remember my friend who developed a very small blackish lesion, subungual region, which was biopsied, turned out to be melanoma. So local wide excision amputation was done, that particular finger, and he developed mets everywhere and he left us. It's just that picture which comes to my mind whenever I talk of melanoma. Really miss him even today. Such a great pathologist, a great teacher, a very lively person he was. Slightly senior to me, my age I should say. So the objectives of today's session, though this is a practical class where we were teaching you about this, I have taken it up in a theory class. I will be telling you the theoretical aspects, but once you come back, you're going to see the slides under the microscope. But you will see the virtual slides now. The objectives of today's session are, at the end of this session, you should be able to list common melanocytic tumors. Then you should know the origin of these melanocytic tumors and what is melanoma and the important clinical features of melanoma, at least the morphology. So when I say important clinical features, I would be telling you about certain risk factors and gross appearance of melanoma. Then of course in detail about the microscopic features of melanoma. So whenever we say malignant melanoma or just melanoma, it means the same. I tell you one thing, a frequent occurrence that happens in the Viva OC when we ask students about a question related to two, I should say neoplastic lesions, which have this letters MM. One is malignant melanoma, the other is, can you think of another lesion? Another tumor which arises from plasma cells? Multiple myeloma. Students often get confused between these two terminologies, so please do not. So I'm telling you, you may say, yeah, it was at the tip of my tongue, slip of my tongue, so instead of melanoma I said myeloma, or instead of malignant melanoma I said multiple myeloma, but that cannot happen. Okay? This is just have in mind so that you'll be very conscious when you talk about malignant melanoma or multiple myeloma. Yes. Okay. So melanocytic tumors. So anything that, what is this melanin? That's a pigment which is there in the skin. So excess of pigment in any area, the common on the skin, common people say mole. Yes. So melanocytic tumors, what is the origin? From where do they arise from? One is nevus cells, second is epidermal melanocytes, third is dermal melanocytes. Confusion? I just taken this from the net, somebody had described this well. Just look at this. So this is the basement membrane and the epidermal cells. For every 8 to 10 epiderm, that the basal cells, remember you had written in the last diagram of BCC, the epidermal, the basal cells, which were elongated, tall columnar. For every 10 cells, there is a melanocyte. That is normal. For every basal keratin, 10 basal keratinocytes. What do they produce? They are dendritic cells. So their dendrites, it spreads over the other adjacent keratinocytes. So they produce melanin and they distribute the melanin to the surrounding keratinocytes. Okay. So but what are nevus cells then? Nevus cells are not just like this, they are larger than the normal melanocytes that show morphological, that is they are larger than the normal melanocytes. So there will be some morphological difference. That is they differ from the normal melanocytes. So what is nevocellular nevus? Common, we say moles. Why is it important? So when we used to give our identification marks, so we used to search for some nevi on the surface of the body that is exposed, visible. Yeah. So nevocellular nevi, when we say moles, they are nevocellular nevi. So these are benign tumors arising from the nevus cells. See, just an example. All of you will have, I know, different types of nevi. Some have hair, some have a clear space around, so we call it as halo nevus, and there are a lot of varieties of them. So this is epidermis. Obviously, the rete ridges are not seen. That means there's something in the dermis that has compressed the rete ridges. See, entire lesion is the proliferated nevus cells. This is nevocellular nevus, dermal nevus visa, because the proliferation is within the dermis. If you remember, recollect the histology of skin, you know that nothing you see within the dermis like this, apart from fibrocollagenous tissue, neurovascular bundles and the adnexal structures. Yes. Now, what arises from the epidermal melanocytes? So the benign tumors that arise from epidermal melanocytes are lentigo. So this is lentigo. See, dark spots with irregular margins. If there are more than one, we call it as lentiginous, lentigens. Freckles, so slightly different, they appear slightly elevated. And cafe au lait spots. Anything that comes to your mind when I say cafe au lait spots? Any benign tumor that is associated with cafe au lait spots? See, what is this? There are multiple nodular lesions on the surface of the skin, and this is the cafe au lait spot. What is this? Neurofibromatosis. Neurofibromatosis. So frequently we see this cafe au lait spots. Then now let us move on to malignant melanoma. So malignant melanoma, this is also called as melanocarcinoma. So what is the origin? This arises from the melanocytes. What do melanocytes produce? They produce melanin. What is a melanophage? It sounds like macrophage, right? So melanophage is a macrophage which engulfs the melanin. So remember melanocyte, melanophage or melanophage. So what is malignant melanoma? It's a malignant tumor that arises from the melanocytes. The tumor size could be very small, but it is notorious dangerous. Why? Because it spreads by hematogenous route also. When it spreads by hematogenous route, we can see the metastasis anywhere in the body. So it's rapidly spreading malignant tumor of the skin, and this I have repeated several times, hematogenous and lymphocyte. It can occur at all the ages. So then what is the origin? It can arise de novo. That means not existing from a previous nevus or a dysplastic nevus. Two possibilities: it can arise as such, de novo, or it can arise from a pre-existing nevus. And when do we say a pre-existing nevus is going on for malignancy? So the junctional activity is important. What is this junction we are talking about? So junction of the epidermis and the dermis. Then grows downwards. It grows horizontally also. I'll tell you how does it grow. That's why we say people who have, see, not all nevi are malignant. Remember that. You should not create panic in people. And third year syndrome, even students get panic when they learn a new topic and something happens to them. So whenever a mole that is present since a long time suddenly starts growing rapidly, enlarging in size, it becomes itchy. That is, it's not like how it was earlier. Then we say, yeah, consult a dermatologist, consult a surgeon to know why, what has caused this change or what is causing the change in the nevus. Yes. What are the common sites then? Skin. They said skin. So where in the skin? Sun exposed. So who are prone? So it is the white people who are prone for this. So exposed, the area of the body which is exposed to sun. So trunk in men, legs in women. Then other areas of face, sole, palm, nail bed. Remember nail bed also. Then oral and anogenital mucosa. Esophagus, again it becomes a mucosa. Then meninges, eye, conjunctiva in the eye. Then orbit. And meninges I told you, especially the leptomeninges. Okay, take a minute break to just go through again what are the common sites of melanoma and registered. So I have shown you several pictures now. This is from the conjunctiva, this is oral mucosa, this is from the sole. Here you can make out a larger lesion rising from the rectum. This is anal region. Causes, this I told you, exposure to sun. People want to get tanned, fair individuals, white skin. So common in Australia and New Zealand. Causes, 90% of them are linked to sun exposure. Why sun exposure and what happens? UV radiation. Then 8% are due to chromosomal abnormalities and 2% are unknown. So there are so many diseases, so many tumors, whatever we talk about, ultimately we say unknown, origin unknown, etiology unknown, idiopathic, we say. What are risk factors then? Persistent change in appearance of a mole, I told you already. Presence of pre-existing nevus, no worry, not all will become malignant. Features of melanoma in a patient of atypical mole. This is microscopically when we see elderly age and moles which are larger. Just have, just say that's a risk factor. Just follow it up, that's all. Then family history of melanoma, dysplastic nevi. Okay, they show dysplasia. Then we'll be careful, we follow up such cases for early recognition of melanoma developing from a dysplastic nevus. Previous melanoma, yes, a primary is excised, then we keep looking for metastasis. Many nevi, ordinary moles which are more multiple, when they are more than 50. So all these I have told you, excessive use of tanning. When I say sun exposure, all these are the causes. Yes. So risk factors, it's repeated again. I know that with going through these 3 slides, you have registered, you have learnt about few of the risk factors for melanoma. So genetics, genetic predisposition, they say, what does it tell us? 10 to 15% arise in families having dysplastic Nevus syndrome, familial melanoma syndrome. Then germline mutation in CDKN2A gene, which encodes for cyclin-dependent kinase inhibitor. What is another cause? Mutational loss of PTEN gene and several other tumor suppressor genes. As long as tumor suppressor genes are there, it is good. So mutation occurs, if they are lost, then there is risk of developing any malignancy for that matter. Then mutation in BRAF protein. This is a repetition I told you. So pre-existing mole, when it becomes itchy, then when the previous mole starts showing variegated appearance, even secondary changes like ulceration, bleeding, change in the color, it just calls for an attention. So the warning signs, same thing, enlargement of a pre-existing mole, itching, newly pigmented lesion developing, irregularity of the borders of the pigmented lesion, variegated appearance. I've just concised the previous slides and then put it as warning signs. Okay. Then what are the types of melanoma? Now you know that melanoma means melanocarcinoma. Melanoma means malignant melanoma. Though we have taught you that the suffix oma means or indicates benign tumor, no, there is always an exception, or there are exceptions. What are the exceptions if you want to recall? Melanoma. It's not just like lipoma, neurofibroma. Here oma does not just tell us it is benign. Seminoma. What is seminoma? It's a malignant tumor arising from the germ cells in the testis. So germ cell tumor of the testis, a malignant tumor. Lymphoma. What is lymphoma? Lymphoma is not lipoma. Lipoma is benign tumor of adipose tissue, whereas lymphoma is a malignant tumor that arises from the lymphocytes, or arises in the lymph node. So what are the types of melanoma? If possible, remember superficial spreading melanoma, malignant melanoma, nodular melanoma, lentigo maligna melanoma, acral melanoma. See, lentigo maligna is like this, superficial spreading, nodular. What is lentigo maligna melanoma? This often develops from previous lentigo. I showed you just pigmented spots on the skin. Usually if they're multiple, we call it as lentiginous. Often develop from pre-existing lentigo is lentigo maligna melanoma. Slowly growing, but it has good prognosis. We call it as melanoma in situ. What does it mean when we say melanoma in situ? So it is confined to the epidermis, does not metastatize. Superficial spreading. It is. Look at this lesion. It is not just looking like a benign nevus. It appears slightly elevated from the skin, has a variegated appearance, ulcerated. You may not be able to see ulceration here, and this has got worse prognosis. So early when we see the case, it may be very small, but then it becomes irregular. So common in the lower legs of women, back, this we told, trunk in men, legs in women. So nodular. So the terminology itself tells you that the melanoma here is nodular. That means it is like an elevated lesion projecting from the surface of the skin. So common in males, elevated, it is deeply pigmented. So the color itself, when you look at a blackish lesion, so you think, yeah, this could be melanin. So what is a blackish nodular lesion in the skin? It could be malignant melanoma. Why is it blackish? Because the melanoma arises from melanocytes, and these are tumor melanocytes. They also produce melanin. So that is the one which has given black color to the tumor. So at this stage I want to tell you that there is a variant of melanoma, malignant melanoma, which is referred to as amelanotic melanoma. What is the meaning amelanotic? That means there's no melanin pigment. A tumor like this without melanin pigment. Then how does it appear? It will not appear black, but it arises from the melanocytes. So ulceration, bleeding, all the secondary changes are common in this. So these nodules grow rapidly, ulcerate, by worse prognosis because of metastasis. So where is this lesion present? This is present on the sole, acral, peripheral parts of the body. So this usually ulcerates, metastatizes early, has a worse prognosis compared to superficial spreading. That we said has a better prognosis than these. So common in white skinned individuals, found on palm and soles, a flat dark area with an invasive nodular component. So the next variant is desmoplastic melanoma. Have you heard of this term, desmoplasia? Yes, you have to recollect, because in neoplasia, when we were teaching neoplasia, we have taught you what is desmoplasia. This is one of the characteristics of certain tumors where the tumors produce fibrotic stroma, fibrosis. So if the tumors produce fibrosis, how would be the tumor consistency? Fibrosis. It would be hard in consistency. So then what do we call that? Microscopically we say Squirrus carcinoma, hard. It will become hard. So what are the examples? Tumors which produce lot of stroma, that is desmoplastic stroma or fibrosis. Here we have an example, that is desmoplastic melanoma. More than that, remember at least 2 lesions. So one is breast carcinoma, breast. So when it produces lot of fibrosis, we call it as Squirrus carcinoma breast. There is one type of hepatocellular carcinoma which also produces lot of fibrosis. We call it as Squirrus carcinoma liver. Okay. Squirrus variant of hepatocellular carcinoma. But another variant, since we have taught you gastrointestinal system and tumors of the stomach. So this is an exercise for your brain. Which tumor of the stomach resembles a leather bottle? Which tumor has a leather bottle appearance? Why a leather bottle appearance? Why the consistency? Because of fibrosis. What is it? Carcinoma. I am telling because of the desmoplasia, the word I have taken here. That is infiltrating adenocarcinoma, signet ring type stomach. of fibrosis you can make out here. See, in addition to the tumor cells, there's those spaces which pink areas, that is fibrosis. So this is what we dealt with now. Based on clinical features and prognosis, we've spoken about 4 types of melanoma. Lentigo maligna melanoma, good prognosis. Superficial spreading, though we said worse prognosis, this is better than the other 2. This is like talking about probably, I don't want to be negative, but I'm just taking a negative example, very sorry. 4 students have failed because of this tumor which is metastatizing, I am telling you. So that means one is slightly better than the other. 4 also, all 4 have failed. So how much you should get to pass? 50. One who gets 30 also has failed. One who has got 10 also has failed. So one who has got 45 also has failed. But probably when you look at this positively, you say, a person with 45 is better. Why? Because he needs to get only another 5 marks to pass. That's only analogy I can take here to say, to talk about the prognosis here. Superficial spreading, acral lentiginous melanoma, nodular melanoma. So we'll move on to the microscopy of malignant melanoma. So again, what the mind does not know, eyes will not look for. If you know how Amitabh Bachchan looks, then you can definitely identify him. Otherwise, no. Then, knowing how Amitabh Bachchan looks, if you just watch his movies, then you have a visual impression also of him, so that it becomes very easy for you to identify him. So what the mind does not know, eyes will not look for, but I am making your mind know how microscopically the malignant melanoma appears, so that all my students, I am sure, would identify these lesions very easily, because the melanin pigment which is there in the microscopy helps you. It says, yes, I am there, identify. I am revealing my identity. Please tell me who am I. Otherwise you say with HNE stain, what are the 2 colors? One is pink, the other is blue. No, only 2 things, 2 colors. But here is an extra color, black. Okay. So the tumor arises from melanocytes with marked junctional activity. What is this junctional activity? That means, normally I told you, there's only 1 melanocyte per 10 cells. So here you can see the melanocyte number increased and they present haphazardly and going down also. So in this junction we see the activity of this cells more. So how does it grow? One is it grows horizontally, that is radially. So this we call it as pagetoid spread also. Pagetoid, when I say pagetoid, so again you should remember where have we used this. Paget's disease of the breast. So the tumor cells go across, they are present across in a horizontal manner. So, pagetoid spread is one radial. Okay, leave the pagetoid spread. So when it comes, with the use of this terminology, Paget's, anything else? Paget's disease of the nipple. So that is infiltrating ductal carcinoma of breast. Paget's disease of the bone. That is not a malignant tumor. So 2 terminologies. So you are dealing with a topic, so you have to bring in information from all other systems or whatever you have learned already. Now, so tumor tumor we say has a biphasic pattern. What is biphasic? That means two types of cells are there. What are the two types of cells? Just look at these cells which are there. How are they? They appear elongated, spindle. I'm sure you can make out. Elongated. So whereas when you look at these cells, they are polygonal. Which are the cells which are polygonal? Epithelial cells are polygonal. See, these cells are polygonal. So the tumor has biphasic pattern, epithelioid and spindle shaped. So the tumor cells are of two types. Look at the nuclei here. It's a vesicular nucleus because the chromatin is, of course, a hyperchromatic. Chromatin is dispersed. So you can see what the nucleus contains. The prominent nucleoli. Cytoplasm, see, eosinophilic, amorphous cytoplasm. Large vesicular nucleus, prominent nucleoli. And plenty of cells you can see in mitosis. See, all these which appear dark, these are the cells which are in mitosis. Then melanin, of course. So the same picture here. So vertical phase. So the radial phase we spoke about. Vertical is when it grows deep into the dermis with lack of maturation and true metastatic potential. Yes. Now the cells are larger than knee vessels. Here you can make out that there is a lot of pigment. How do we describe this pigment? So this pigment is brown black. Brown black. So golden yellow is hemosiderin. This is brown black. So same thing. Chromatin clumped, eosinophilic nucleoli. Cells proliferate, and what is the arrangement of cells? They are in nests, that is groups or individual cells. Now you can appreciate the two types of cells very well. So what are these cells? Definitely they are spinning cells. These are polygonal cells. And look at so much of ATPI here. That is one of the characteristic feature of any malignant tumor cells. Anisonucleosis. See? Anisonucleosis. Prominent nucleoli. Lot of pigment. Because these cells are producing pigment. So melanin pigment is absent only in amelanotic. If we get this microscopic picture without any melanin pigment, that becomes amelanotic. Of course, we have to go with the markers to confirm it is melanoma. So this is another clinical appearance, but not very clear. Yes. So this is a photomicrograph that shows vertical growth. From here, the tumor is growing down. It is growing deeper. You saw the radial growth. This is deeper. And these are nodular aggregates of tumor cells. They are nodular. It's a low power picture. So you are not appreciating the cellular ATP. So here you can make out that cells are of varying size and shape and lot of melanin pigment. High power. Yeah, this is oral cavity. Then how do we say that that brown black pigment what we are seeing is melanin? You may question. You may say it could be carbon, but we don't expect carbon in such a situation. Or could it be a tattoo pigment? No. It's a lesion we are seeing. It's a tumor where this pigment is present. So we can always do a special stain. What is a special stain for melanin? One is Fontana Mason stain. Mason's Fontana stain we say. It is a silver stain. But the end product when we take this section and do a stain is ultimately it looks black. Already it is black. Again it looks black. It becomes difficult. Only the tumors which have very little pigment probably we can take this. The other one is melanin bleach. See, all of his girls are very much familiar with the bleach, right? You know, getting face bleached. Why? To remove the melanin. So what do? So we subject the histopathology section also to bleaching. What do we use for bleaching? We may use hydrogen peroxide or KMNO4 or oxalic acid and all that. So if it is melanin, it gets bleached. Then we go back and then stain with HME and see. Compare the previous and this line. So if melanin is bleached, then the intensity of black color goes down. Then DOPA reaction. What is DOPA reaction? This we use only for amelanotic melanoma. The tumor looks like melanoma, but there is no melanin. So to confirm. So what do we do here? So we subject a fresh tissue or treat it with tyrosine, and the melanin, the melanocytes convert tyrosine to dopamelanin. That is the DOPA reaction because of the tyrosinase enzyme. Then other markers. There are so many markers for to say that these are melanocytes. So just remember HMB45 specific. So IHC stands for immunohistochemistry. So the differential diagnosis microscopically, what we have to think is nevus, pigmented basal cell carcinoma, pigmented seborrheic keratosis, and I don't think I need to consider this, but this is not for your level. So I was telling you about the special stain. This is Mason's Fontana, all this, which is brown black, it's appearing blackish. It's a silver stain. Prognosis now, so depends on the size of the tumor depth, how much it has infiltrated or going deeper. Then number of tumor cells, mitosis, we say mitosis, how many mitoses are there per square millimeter or high power. Then evidence of an immune response. There's so much to read about and learn about melanoma, but I'm not going into the details of that. So presence and degree of tumor infiltration by lymphocytes. So what does it tell us when there are a lot of lymphocytes in the tumor stroma? That means the immune reaction of the host's immunity against the tumor. That's got a good prognosis. Many tumors which have a lot of lymphocytes, we say good prognosis. And of course gender and where is the tumor located. So favorable prognosis is a tiny one, less than 2 millimeters. Absence of, that is low mitotic rate, and tumor immune, that is lymphocytic infiltration. Favorable prognosis. Then the absence of risk, of course, if it is located in the extremities, it has got a better prognosis. Spread, I just repeat, this spreads by hematogenous route also, and we see metastasis in any of the visible organs like liver, kidney, brain, lungs. Think of any organ like even the heart and the spleen. What is this? This is a cross section of brain. Can you make out the deposits, the metastatic deposits from melanoma here? Yes. This is very interesting. I just took this picture from the net. Okay. So this person who has presented it, he says this veterinary medicine. So this he saw in his 3-year-old Labrador dog. Dogs also have so many similar diseases. And okay, so it was a nodule on the skin. Then when the dog died and autopsy was done, so they could see metastasis everywhere. So dog lovers who have pets, they know it's so painful when they look at this. Okay, so this is the liver, this is the kidney, this is the heart, this is the urinary bladder. Everywhere you can see that metastasis. And many a times when it extensively metastatizes into the urinary tract and renal system, I should say, kidney. So we have spoken about black colored urine. So melanuria is also one of the cause for black colored urine. Any other cause you can remember? I won't tell you. So it's we have taught you. So give an exercise, exercise your brain to find out. Okay, so this is Clark's classification or Clark levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, the melanoma cells are confined to epidermis. 2 is they're entering the papillary dermis. I'll show you a picture. Papillary dermis. 3 is they're extending into the interface between papillary and reticular. 4 is reticular dermis, and invasion of subcutaneous is the last one. See, this is fine. Level 1 confined to the epidermis. 2, it has come to the papillary dermis. Papillary dermis is the upper dermis. 3, entire papillary dermis, and it's come to the junction. This is the reticular dermis. Papillary, so it's come to the junction. Now 4 is it has entered the reticular dermis. 5 is everything and into the fat, subcutaneous fat. So this is Clark's levels. The same thing. And this is Beslow classification for 5-year survival. You can see this. I've just added what are the 3 tumors that we have taught you that arises from the skin: squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and malignant melanoma. This was a nice slide I saw to show you the vegetoid spread in the epidermis. And these are nests of tumor cells which are present in the epidermis. So this is about malignant melanoma. So you are going to draw the diagram along with me. I was very happy to see the diagrams written by you along with your picture. Seeing you all, that was an assignment I had given, right? So I said, show the picture that you have written, the diagram of basal cell carcinoma, along with you, I said. So many of you had followed the textbook. I'm happy, but for the diagram microscopy, follow me. What I am writing, I have shown you. Do that. Okay, this also, I want you to write following what you have understood after the drawing I have written on the blackboard. So I'll tell you what assignment you will have. So I'll share that on our WhatsApp group. And from this week, I think we'll start with the practical sessions like this. Okay. So any doubts you have, and if you are not able to understand, please keep in touch with me. Contact me on my WhatsApp number. If you feel I was very quick going through, that problem should not come, because you can pause, you can go back and listen to it again. Okay. So any other way you want me to modify my teaching, I'm ready, because whatever I teach has to be useful for all, not only for few students. Okay, thank you. So let's learn about malignant melanoma. Okay, you are supposed to draw this diagram in your journal. So take a white sheet, whatever colors you have. I'm sure you have a black pen, you have a blue pen, and pink I don't know, definitely you have red. So instead of pink yourself, you can use a red color. So what we are learning now is, as we have discussed, it is malignant melanoma. Even if I just say melanoma, it is malignant, probably you know. So the origin also we have discussed. So first we are drawing the epidermis. We are drawing a diagram of malignant melanoma which has affected the skin. You know the other sides also. So epidermis, you have learned to draw epidermis. What is this? This is the basement membrane. What do we see about the basement membrane? Row of basal cells. This I have shown you in basal cell carcinoma. So the basal cells. What are interspersed within the basal cells? Depending on the complexion of the individual, they are the melanocytes. Melanocytes having a clear cytoplasm and or vacuolated cytoplasm and bluish nucleus. Yes. So let us draw some more melanocytes. Basal cells. You can draw more. Okay, melanocytes. So normally we say 8 to 10 basal cells. There is a melanocyte. Then the nuclei of all this. So again, elongated. These are all cells which would be multiplied. We know that every of this is labile. Okay, you keep drawing this. So then what is the next layer of cells? The prickle cells. So you know to write this prickle cells. In basal cell carcinoma all of you have written. So again, characteristic feature is epithelial cells have a vesicular nucleus and a prominent nucleolus. So don't draw nucleus like dots. So you may show bridges, may or may not, no problem, because these are the desmosomes. We can appreciate this very well even in light microscopy, the prickle cells. So then comes the granular layer. Cells become slightly flattened as they move towards the surface. So the nucleus, similar nucleus. Now, important feature here, I have already told you, all these cells have keratohyalin granules. Keratohyalin granules. That's why we call it as granular cell. This is the one which matures into or produces keratin. So keratin this is the acellular zone. See, no nucleus, only keratin. So this we have shown. What is this? This is epidermis. So now we are drawing so diagrammatically we are depicting how malignant melanoma is. So we are showing an infiltrating tumor. So before that, if needed, we can fill this up showing junctional activity. So that means daughter melanocytes and even the basal cells with transferred melanin. Okay, so I should have used black, and all of you know melanin is black in color, but I am using yellow color. So here yellow is depicting black. Yellow is for black, no confusion. So we are using this to show melanin pigment. So lot of melanin pigment here. Except amelanotic melanoma. So if you just look at the lesion, it will be dark in color. Yes. Then the tumor proper. So this entire thing is the dermis. So we are showing the tumor infiltrated, that has infiltrated into the dermis. So important feature of melanoma is there are two types of cells. We call it as a biphasic type of tumor. So one type of cells are like this. What is the shape? I don't think there's any confusion in identifying this. I'm sorry, I said I will use yellow to depict melanin. Okay. So what are these cells? What is the shape? Very nice. They're spindle shaped cells. So one type of cells, they're spindled. So the cytoplasm is eosinophilic or amphophilic. So bluish pink. Okay. But how do we say they are malignant cells? Now, an important feature lies in the characteristic of the nucleus. So, look at the nucleus. Again, vesicular with prominent nucleoli and lot of anisonucleosis. You can see bizarre nuclei. Look at how vague nucleus I'm writing. So, each nucleus differs. So, there is no uniformity at all. Nowhere by looking at this you can call this as benign. And let us draw even cells which are in mitosis. So one type of cell is spindle shaped cell. Okay. So already you have learned about spindle shaped cells. I think other spindle shaped cells you need to remember are the cells in leiomyoma, the smooth muscle cells, the fibroblasts, then the nerve cells. Here it is a tumor cells which are spindle. The other type of cell is like this. So how are they to look at? They are polygonal. See, I am writing quite large cells so that you can appreciate them. So they are polygonal. Okay. Then again, so we have to show their cytoplasm. All these cells show very nice pink or apophilic cytoplasm. See, the cells are not uniform. Okay, so these cells have now again vesicular nucleus, prominent nucleolus, very haphazard nucleus. They are so angry looking. You can say they are all tumor cells. So fill these up with the bizarre nuclei. So these are epithelial, not epithelioid cells of a granuloma. They are epithelial-like cells. They are the larger cells. So this is again another mitosis. So if you see like this, I think compared what you learned earlier, you can tell me this is an atypical mitosis. Atypical mitosis. So these cells are either in solid sheets, so you can draw plenty of cells in the entire area. So there could be some stroma infiltrated with inflammatory cells. So fill all these areas with the tumor cells. I just want you to remember and know that this is a tumor with a biphasic pattern. See the nucleus and isonucleosis being shown very well here, and two types of cells. But important feature here for us to say this is melanoma for students, MBBS students, is we say this, the origin is from the melanocytes. So what do melanocytes produce? They produce melanin. So all these cells have melanin pigment. So now you use the normal pencil, the black color or the black pen to show melanin within these tumor cells. Okay, so they could be in solid sheets. They could be in nests, just a group of cells in nests. And these are epithelial-like cells. So they may vaguely, see, be arranged in the form of alveoli. See, somewhat a vague glandular pattern or alveoli. Another you can see here, alveoli. Then there is a spinning-shaped cell again here. But all these cells will show, the cytoplasm will show the presence of melanin granules. So this is what I want you to draw in a sheet of paper. So preserve that. Once you come back, same thing is cut and pasted in your journal. I know all of you have not taken your journal. Now, so this becomes the stroma now. Okay, entire tumor cells we have written. So it is the dermis stroma which has of course the collagen and the blood vessels and all that. So in infiltrating tumor, you can write lot of inflammatory cells here. So there are the lymphocytes, neutrophils, plasma cells. So for your level, I think writing neutrophil and lymphocyte should be fine. I just repeat. So this is a diagrammatic representation of malignant melanoma. So which side? The moment you look at it, you know that this is from the skin because we have written epidermis here. What's happened to the epidermis? It is ulcerated. So this tumor has ulcerated surface. Yes. Just to repeat, the basal cells, the pigment cells of the spinal cells, the granular layer and the keratin. So there is an infiltrating tumor here. The tumor has two types of cells, spindle-shaped cells and cells which are polygonal, that is which look like epithelial cells. And all these cells are either arranged in sheets or in nests or especially the epithelial-like cells in alveolar pattern. So spinny-shaped cells and epithelial-like cells. These are the spinny-shaped cells. No chance you can call them as normal because they are all showing so much of anisonucleosis or anisokaryosis, varying shape of the nuclei, high mitosis. Okay, everywhere you can show the mitosis. And all these cells have the pigment. Consider this as black because I'm writing it on a green board. I didn't know what to use. So use a pencil or a black pen. So this is the melanin pigment. This is the stroma with inflammatory cells. So ultimately remember, this is a tumor with a biphasic pattern. As an undergraduate, if you can register or understand these features, I feel that is more than